Deep within a forest where the damper met the misty edges of a swamp lived a small rabbit named Pip. His days were a peaceful rhythm of nibbling on clover, twitching his nose at the scent of wild berries, and listening to the whispers of the wind through the ancient trees. He loved his quiet life, the gentle hum of the forest, his constant lullaby. He knew every twist of the trails, every hollow log, and every stream that bubbled through the undergrowth. This forest was his home, and he felt safe within its leafy embrace. One afternoon, as the sun dappled through the canopy, painting shifting patterns on the forest floor, a different sound disturbed the peace. It was a low-hungry growl that rumbled through the air, making the very leaves tremble. A magnificent tiger, sleek and powerful, had wandered from his usual hunting grounds. His stomach was empty, and his keen ears had picked up the faint rustle of Pip, hopping through a patch of ferns. The tiger's eyes, like burning amber, fixed on the spot. Dinner, he thought, was near. Pip's ears shut up. He froze. Every muscle in his tiny body tensed. That sound was not the friendly call of a bird or the scampering of a squirrel. It was the sound of danger. He slowly turned his head, and through the ferns he saw a flash of orange and black stripes. A wave of pure fear washed over. His heart hammered against his ribs like a drum. The tiger was huge, a mountain of muscle and teeth, and Pip knew that in a straight chase he stood no chance. His mind raced. Running was his only option. But where? He couldn't just bolt into the open. He needed a plan. The tiger crouched low, his tail twitching in anticipation. He took a silent step forward, then another, preparing to launch himself in a powerful pounce. Just as the tiger sprang, Pip exploded into motion. He didn't run away in a straight line. Instead, he darted sideways, directly towards the swamp he usually avoided. His paws barely seemed to touch the ground as he flew over roots and dodged thorny bushes. The tiger, surprised by the rabbit's sudden change of direction, landed where Pip had been a second before, his massive paws sending a spray of dirt into the air. With an annoyed snort, the chase began. Pip's small size, usually a disadvantage, now became his greatest asset. He zipped through narrow gaps between ancient moss-covered trees, where the tiger had to slow down and squeeze through. He could hear the tiger's heavy breathing and crashing. Footsteps getting closer. And it spurred him on. The fear was still there, a cold knot in his stomach. But something else was growing alongside it, a spark of cleverness, a desperate instinct to survive. He remembered a series of winding river paths that snaked along the edge of the swamp. Paths too narrow and muddy for a large predator. That was his destination. He reached the first stream, its water cool and clear, and without a moment's hesitation he leaped in. He paddled furiously, his small body carried by the current. The water washed away his scent, confusing the tiger for a precious few seconds. The tiger, who disliked getting his paws wet, hesitated at the water's edge, roaring in frustration. He paced back and forth, trying to see where the little rabbit had gone. Pip used this moment to clamber onto the opposite bank and disappear into a thicket of reeds, his fur dripping. But the tiger was persistent. He spotted the movement in the reeds and, with a mighty leap, cleared the stream. The chase was on again. Pip's lungs burned and his legs ached, but he couldn't stop. He led the tiger deeper into the tricky terrain near the swamp.
He scrambled over fallen logs and ducked under low-hanging branches, forcing the tiger to constantly adjust and slow down. The tiger was growing tired and increasingly frustrated.
This tiny creature was supposed to be an easy meal, but it was proving to be an infuriating challenge. Pip remembered a particular part of the forest maze of thorny brambles with a tiny rabbit-sized tunnel running through its heart. It was a risky move. If the tiger found another way around, he would be trapped. But it was his best shot. He dove headfirst into the thorny entrance, the sharp points snagging at his fur, but he pushed through. Inside it was dark and safe. He could hear the tiger roaring on the other side, crashing against the wall of thorns, but he couldn't get through. The massive beast was too big. After several minutes of fruitless struggle, a frustrated silence fell over the forest. The tiger, scratched, muddy, and exhausted, finally gave up. The small rabbit was not worth this much effort. With a final defeated growl, the tiger turned and stalked back the way he came, his hunger unsatisfied. Pip waited, his ears twitching, listening until the tiger's footsteps faded completely into the distance. Only then did he allow himself to relax. His body trembling with exhaustion and relief, he cautiously emerged from the bramble patch. The forest was quiet again, the only sounds being the gentle chirping of birds and the rustle of leaves. Pip had faced the most terrifying moment of his life and had survived. He hadn't won with strength or speed, but with his wits and his intimate knowledge of his home. As he slowly hopped back towards his burrow, the setting sun cast a warm, golden glow through the trees. He realized that even the smallest creature can overcome the greatest challenges with a little bit of cleverness and a lot of courage. That night, tucked safely in his burrow, Pip slept more soundly than ever before. A brave little hero in his own quiet corner of the world. Thank you so much for watching this story with me today. If you enjoyed Pip's adventure, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Tales from the Wild. We'll see you in the next video.